Hello, sneak peekers. My name is Danielle, and today we are at the 2016 Austin Film Festival.
I've actually been writing plays consistently for the past several years, even during House of Cards, and had a few productions of other plays go up. So it's not like I left playwriting and I'm coming back to it. It's always been a part of my life. This play, I wrote a version of it actually 8 years ago when I was at Juilliard, and I've been working on it off and on since. When AFF contacted me about wanting to do this inaugural play reading series at the festival, I leapt at it because to see the confluence of film and theater in one festival I thought was really great, an important thing to do, and it motivated me to make some changes to the play that I'd been meaning to make for a while to make it more current to the moment that we're living in now. So it's been this journey for me over the course of 8 years, seeing this play evolve, and I'm going to be hearing things today for the first time in front of an audience that I've never heard before. So
So that's really, really great. So how heavily does screenwriting and playwriting go hand in hand? You know, they're shown through two different mediums, but at the same time they share very similar elements.
Sure. I mean, there's certainly formal differences in terms of what you can do with the camera and what you can't do on a stage, or the sort of energy you get from a live audience versus people seeing photons on a screen. But fundamentally, they're about character, And I found, starting in the theater, that the stage taught me how to really root my drama in human behavior and human need. And that's been invaluable as I've tackled characters on the screen. There's so many playwrights these days that are working in film and television, I think you can see that in a lot of the wealth of wonderful, rich, three-dimensional storytelling that's taking place. People who are bringing those things they've learned about character in the theater to the screen. Let's do one. We got to do one more.
Okay.
This photo, and then the cast will take a break.
So what inspired you to write War Story? I noticed you had a deep background in politics, and so that kind of helped you draw on what War Story is centered around, which is like navigating the past and also looking forward at the uncertainty of our future. And so, we could definitely say right now the political climate of America is a little uncertain. So, how did that affect, when you made the changes and
Sure.
up until now?
Well, look, I'm known for a couple of political things, Ides of March and House of Cards, but it's not all I write about. I've written 14 plays, and only one of them was about the world of politics. There are definitely political elements to this play, but not necessarily from the halls of power, but from the way that we experience politics in our everyday lives, in terms of class, in terms of gender, in terms of race, in terms of all the things that we're facing as a country right now. And I expect people will have, strong reactions, that may be very different from one another after they see this play. I think that's a good thing, because hopefully this theater-going audience will want to discuss and debate, and discussion and debate is what we really need right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Very nice to meet you.
What drew you to War Story, coming on to this story?
I was coming to Austin Film Festival to be a part of the premiere of my film Brave New Jersey that I'm a part of, and I was asked to be in this reading, and then they sent the script, and it just grabbed me and I just considered it an honor to be here, and I think when the folks hear it, they're really going to be captivated by it.
What exactly grabbed you in the script and just was just such a big standout about what was written and what Beau is detailing to tell a story?
What grabbed me was the way that these characters, the way their lives interacted, but then also the things they were dealing with. It takes place in 2011, and that political spectrum, and how each of them viewed war, military, choices that they made in life. And my character, Alvin, what he dealt with kind of coming off of an earlier war in the past, and just where he was in life, and kind of dealing with his son being now in the service, and how he just wants to just kind of be. But the funny thing is the way he chooses to express it, so that in reading it, that was something that was really intriguing to me, and I was like, it'd be fun to bring that to life.
And so I guess the importance of this play, you know, because Austin Film Festival is specifically for screenwriting, and recently this year they just introduced their first playwriting program that's going to go more towards helping plays get more spotlight and production. So I guess what's the importance of bringing something like this here, and this is its first premiere?
Well, I think it's good, first off, and I think it will be able to showcase the writer Beau Willimon, his history and his career of great works that are already out there, and it is kind of like an educational format in that way of how to write, how to kind of construct your script, construct your screenplay, and to be able to have that course to educate not just young and old who want to step into writing. And I think it's a great platform to have it here.
Story that's centered around, navigating your past while also working out the future and its uncertainty. And what drew you to it?
Well, the main draw for me was that one of my best friends, Beau Willimon, wrote it. So, do you want me to hold this mic? No? Okay. So that was easy. It was an easy thing to decide to do. Didn't require a whole lot of thinking. But it's a great play, as you say, and Beau's done a few revisions on it, and it has so much resonance. No one writes politics better than Beau Willimon, and it really, with everything that's happening in our country right now, it's a really exciting time to be doing this.
So you feel that it's really relevant with the current political climate that we're going through. How will we see some of that surface or reference or play on what's happening in America or what's been happening in recent years?
You will see a lot of what's going on in the world and in our country right now represented in this play, absolutely. And what's really interesting is it rather than go ahead to the present. I think the play was originally set. It was originally set in 2007, and he's moved it to 11. So it's before Obama's re-election and the sort of initial stirrings of Donald Trump, and it's a really interesting time to look at, even more than I would have imagined. And in looking at it today and reading through it, it's like, oh my God, it's a lot of things that we didn't really see coming that he's showing the sort of seeds of. Yeah.
That is really cool. So what are some other elements that excited you? Was it, you said the writing was really great, and then Beau being your friend, that was awesome. Is it just, this opportunity, or is there something more?
Well, it's a great chance to come to Austin, Texas. I've always wanted to come here. I've never been here before in my life, and I've always wanted to come, and I'll definitely come back next time for hopefully more than just a day and a night. But there's some really cool things in this play, also just about power and vulnerability, and who's vulnerable in the country, and who's vulnerable in relationships, and how we each individually navigate our way through those.
What kind of drew you to War Story?
Well, what drew me to it is that I was asked to do it, and I was thrilled. But then once I read it, I feel like it's a really interesting story. There's a number of different storylines with some really relevant, important themes about veterans and power and all of those dynamics in America, rich and poor. It's just, there's a lot of themes that just feel important and want to talk about.
Yeah, the relationships. I was really drawn to just how everyone is with each other and how situations just affect that, and that you can really feel the in some of the relationships you can feel the years in it. You can feel the past in just a few moments and a few pieces of dialogue.
So are we looking at how power affects relationships and causes changes and other things in that?
I would say to some extent, for sure, probably particularly in what I'm doing in the play with Patch, but also just how privilege affects the disparity in our country is intense, and how those dynamics play together. Yeah, it's kind of general, but that is what's going on.
And how, like, I could say for who the character I'm reading for is a lot of how you just have stuff thrown at you. Like, it just doesn't matter what it really is and how you can't control it, but it's like how you just deal with and how you just basically overcome it and not letting it tear you apart.
And so how does it feel to bring a story like that to the Austin Film Festival, which is set in Austin, which is kind of where the seat of the governmental power is in Texas?
Feels really exciting. I think we're really thrilled to be a part of it. Unfortunately, we only rehearsed today, and that's it. We got the script this week and rehearsed today. So we're not masters of the script yet, but it's exciting to even begin grappling with it and having an audience see it, and because that's when it comes to life. And I think we'll know probably a lot more of the answers to these questions after the reading.
Yeah, I would have to second that. I don't even know what's going to happen. I think we'll learn as much as you will just from us doing it the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really well-written play, and it's really dense. So there's going to be a lot for everyone to think about.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to most tonight ahead of your performance, getting ready, getting mentally prepped, and all that?
Getting what? Sorry.
Mentally prepped.
Oh. I'm just looking, I think we maybe I can speak for both of us. I think we're both it's really refreshing to get to read a play. We just don't, we work in film and TV, and we don't necessarily get to do it all the time. I haven't done it in a couple of years, and it's exciting for me to just be here reading a play in front of a live audience.
And especially with the playwright in the room.
Yeah.
Like, helps a lot. So
Absolutely.
It's like you can have a back and forth, have a dialogue with him, and he's right there in the room.
Yeah.
And that's it's not only a relief, but it's a resource that the majority of plays and companies that would put on a play just don't have that luxury of doing that.
How does the playwright being there, how does that affect it? I've never heard of that before.
Well, for example, this isn't always the case, but this morning we were literally there. He was rewriting stuff in the moment. He was hearing stuff and saying that doesn't work, and we changed a big portion of my dialogue actually. And what's really cool is that Beau, who by the way we've known for a couple of hours, is not very precious about it right now. It seems very much like a work in progress.
And how, so I could have like a whole idea of what like the train of thought of the character is, and in like a second just having him there and he's like, all right, let's just go in this direction instead. And so it helps, like there's no like fluff. You just know just immediately what that is. And you're just like, oh, I trust you because you're the guy that wrote it.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to
you know. Yeah, he wrote it, he's directing it, so it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
So what are you looking to bring to War Story, and how did the character resonate with you that led to you wanting to pursue this project?
Well, this character, Sean, he's got a lot of pain that he's holding on to. And, I know about coming out of that kind of, well, not that it's intensive pain, but I know what it is as a human. We all do know what it's like to come out of pain. And Sean, his story is a little tragic. I don't want to say what happens, but that's the connection that I made with Sean is having pain and then moving through it, and learning how to move through it, and learning how to move through it with your loved ones.
Okay. So with War Story, it's a tell about navigating the past and also, working out the uncertainty of the future. How did that feel like, keeping that in mind when working with your character and bringing him to life?
Well, that's another thing that really resonates with me just in my life, because we all are accumulations of our past into this very moment. And I think that we all have to, deal with that, deal with every piece of our past coming up and leading up to right now. And, to be able to take that and put it down on words and then write scenes about it and create a whole world around it, I think is a testament to the playwright. And the way that he illustrates it, it's easy to latch onto it and to express it. Yeah.